Hello, this is Heavy Thrash and that's my book channel at YouTube. I am back again. We just left off with The Dungeons Are Calling, and of course after that release they would again then get signed to Atlantic Records. And in 1985 of May 20th, which was the date of its release, they released Power of the Night, which was produced by Max Norman, who produced many albums by Ozzy, Y&T, and so much others. And so, this, as far as this album goes, it's definitely kind of a continuation of some of the, Sirens and The Dungeons Are Calling. It's definitely still similar in the sound, but maybe a tad bit weaker. This album isn't. This is a bit of a divided album at times when it comes to people's favorite Savatage albums. It's not really considered by many their greatest moment, nor is it considered to be their worst moment. No, that'd be given to the album after Power of the Night, which I really don't know if we're going to be talking about. We'll see how my mind goes. We'll see. We'll see where I'm at. So, it's still definitely very rooted in the power metal sound. The album starts off with, the title track, Power of the Night. Like, of course, a kind of a pattern with most of their other albums, like Sirens and Dungeons Are Calling, how those albums started off with, the title track. And I know, I'm still considering the Dungeons Are Calling a album when it's a EP, but whatever. This definitely kind of uses a bit more synths, but it's a little more poppier sounding. There's kind of indications that they're kind of going into more of a commercial sound. It's definitely indicated within this album itself. It's still definitely that metal sound that was still, the sound that was still present on the previous releases, but it's definitely a little more lighter sounding. And to me, I think this kind of, I know, you'll be thinking, this shouldn't mean that it, indicates that this album is a little weaker. In fact, it kind of is a bit weaker than Sirens and The Dungeons Are Calling. It's not nearly as strong as the previous releases, and there's definitely some reasons why. The album doesn't, there's some good moments and there's some bad moments on here. Actually, I shouldn't say bad moments, but some very subpar moments. Ones that just seem to kind of, indicates like they might have been losing some steam. Even though Chris Olivia, on the other hand, is still able to pull off a great performance. And it's definitely indicated within also probably the speed metal moment of this album, which is Washed Out. Definitely harkens back to the track Rage off of Sirens. Probably a tad bit, maybe not as strong as Rage, but it's near there. It's still definitely a solid song, and it's actually my highlight for this one. Alongside Skull Session and Unusual, I guess. Even the title track as well is also pretty good. But the song Warriors. Remember I had said that every track with Warriors seems to be a speed metal song? Well, in this case, no. Definitely, it starts off very awkward in a way for me. It's very kind of pop-ish sounding, almost. A little more, actually, probably not as pop-ish, but kind of commercial sounding. It definitely seems like it's more aimed for the radio. But it isn't bad, but does at times seem kind of unfocused. The same can be said for probably the next song after, which is Necrophilia. Okay, this might harken back to this, The Dungeons Are Calling. But not a bad song, but it does seem like a very goofy song. Necrophilia. I think that's self-explanatory in itself. Not that I'm against it, it just seems kind of weird. Even the track itself I don't know what was going on through their heads while they were recording it. I don't know if Max Norman was literally on coke when this song was being written or when it was being sung, but it's surprising how this track even hit the the fucking meter. You know what I'm talking about. How, I guess this is one of the reasons for why the PMRC were kind of targeting them, because again, the lyrical content between some of these bands were very over the top in either sexually or just very, Satanism, whatever. It's like, not that I'm against it. To me, I think every band has the right to sing about what they want to sing about, but here, I think the track feels a little unfocused because of, it seems like it's about somebody who pretty much lost their lover and I guess decides to, dig up the corpse, and I don't know. To me, I don't want to end up putting it next to a fucking storyline from like the WWE during the fucking Ruthless Aggression era. Like, I don't need to explain that. I don't need to. You don't need to know. You can look that shit up. Anyways, definitely a bit of a odd moment, but it's not nearly as unfocused as, let's say, the next song, which is Heartful Love, which is probably the most hair metal that Savatage has gotten. And I know, you'll be thinking, have you ever heard the album After Power of the Night? I'll explain, fucking dumbass. Anyways, this is definitely more of a hair metal song, as opposed to some of the, like Warriors or something. It's definitely kind of close to something like, maybe even Rat, or kind of something. It's, someone has said that it was a little AC/DC sounding. I guess in some ways it is. But it's definitely, to me, I could pass Necrophilia, but to me, Heartful Love feels very out of place when it comes to this album. It feels so out of place, even alongside with some of the beginning parts of Warriors. It definitely seems like it's a little unfocused, like they really were aiming towards the radio, instead of the past sounds where they were really aiming towards, the rabid metalheads of the time. Definitely not a bad song, but it's hardly one of the best songs off the album. Still, there's definitely some good songs on here. Of course, Skull Session being another good one. Of course, the album ends on a ballad note, titled In the Dream. Not a bad track either, but it's not nearly as memorable as Out in the Streets off of Sirens. It's definitely very much feels, again, very unfocused. Some of Power of the Night is good, but there's definitely some very weak moments that kind of, turns the rating down a bit. It kind of just, it hurts the album a bit, in my opinion. It's not a very solid album. It's not really a, bad album. It's just one that just feels very unfocused a bit. However, kind of same be said for the next album. Oh shit, we are going to be talking about that album. Oh dear. Yes, you know what's coming. You know what's coming. You damn know what's the next album. Fuck. So I just stated my opinions about Power of the Night. What are your opinions on Power of the Night? Is it your favorite or is it not your favorite? You either disagree with me or you agree with me. What are your true opinions? That all goes down in the comments section below. So, until then, this is Heavy Thrasher saying I am out. And I'll see you in a moment.